Here we are. 3 phases, a snap and enough CGI battles to melt the hardest GPUs. Avengers, Endgame, the moment we all thought, finally Marvel's going to let us catch our breath. But no, because Marvel Studios has that Donald Trump mindset. As long as the orange is still in my hair, I can run for president. So instead of wrapping things up, they doubled down, turning the MCU into the longest running content binge ever. But I guess everything Disney touches turns into a media ultra-marathon. Remember how Endgame gave us emotional arcs, epic battles, and actual stakes? The good stuff that made it feel like high school graduation. But, with a purple alien overlord, post-Endgame, it's like Marvel handed us a diploma, then slapped down another 12-page syllabus. Now, we're watching WandaVision, Loki, the Falcon, and the Winter Soldier, She-Hulk. Because obviously everyone was clamouring for a green lawyer feminist Hulk show. The first to take us down this rabbit hole was WandaVision, the MCU's attempt to go full experimental, mixing sitcoms with surrealist drama. It started out strong, giving us vibes like Pleasantville on a therapy retreat. But soon enough, it's like Marvel saying, here's a town where Wanda uses her trauma as free real estate. You'd think they'd go somewhere profound with this, maybe have her talk about her issues. Nope. Instead, we are treated to a 1950s sitcom gone wrong. Wanda becomes an unstable Carol Brady, unleashing chaos. And I'm sitting here wondering if Marvel actually knows where it's going with this shit. Spoiler, they don't. They're running blind. Lesson learned. Grief is complicated, but so is a 2-season-long narrative on why mind control is maybe not okay. The one that initially gave us some kind of hope, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It started as the buddy cop action we wanted, with explosions, punching and banter. But by episode 3, it turned into a corporate HR seminar on how to wield Captain America's shield responsibly. The action scenes are there, sure, but they're interrupted by long conversations on geopolitics with more montages than a Rocky movie. They took 2 Avengers and turned them into the world's longest TED Talk. There was even that weird power broker plot twist, which was about as surprising as finding out that Vince McMahon was a creep all along. Then we got Loki, Marvel's trickster god working a desk job for the TVA, a time police department that has all the charm of the DMV with a dash of Harry Potter bureaucracy. Loki went from being the diabolical, over-ambitious brother of Thor to an underpaid pencil pusher with a cartoon clock as his life coach, filling out paperwork and begrudgingly forming a bond with a jet ski-loving Owen Wilson. The multiverse concept, rather than feeling like a whole new frontier, instead feels like someone left the tap open on alternate realities, and we're drowning in what-ifs that even Loki can't make sense of. Seriously, what are we doing here? If Endgame Loki knew this was where he'd end up, he'd have begged Thanos to make it snappy. Yep, that double entendre was completely called for, mates. Now, Loki is bouncing from universe to universe, trying to fix the broken timelines he was never meant to fix. Sounds like therapy that never ends, if you ask me. Holding the record for unnecessary prequel of all time, Black Widow, the first solo film for Natasha Romanoff, which they dropped after she'd already kicked the bucket. It was like going to a wedding after the couple's already divorced. Black Widow gave us the backstory we never knew we wanted, and after seeing it, weren't sure we needed. We meet Natasha's family. The villain is also basically just Harvey Weinstein in a tracksuit. Gross and in desperate need of better PR and a more credible plan. It's like getting the graduation ceremony after everyone has left campus. There's a new Black Widow, yeah, but after 24 fucking movies later and some painfully delayed character development, It's more like watching a delayed memo that missed the relevance train. The most depressing of the bunch was probably Eternals. If there was ever a Marvel movie that felt like it was made by AI that only had a vague understanding of what humans are, it's Eternals. A group of super powerful immortals who spent centuries ignoring humanity's issues. It's Marvel's version of The Breakfast Club if The Breakfast Club was set in a dystopian future where nobody's allowed to smile. Even the villains are just CGI wolves that exist to remind us there's a fight scene coming. Marvel gave us a diverse cast of superheroes with the charisma of a waiting room, who only step in every few centuries when something really interesting happens. The stakes here are supposedly cosmic, but the only thing being annihilated is our ability to sit through 2.5 hours of galactic family therapy. Remember that time? Hawkeye, the least super of all superheroes, got his own Disney Plus show. Neither do most people. Clint Barton finally gets his moment. And it's a holiday crime show with stakes lower than the average Tubi movie. The highlight. A hero who's mostly trying to make it home for Christmas, getting sidetracked by a new protege and his lingering trauma. Think of it as Die Hard meets Elf, but with less action and more I just want to retire energy. A series that feels like Marvel's way of filling December content slots and seeing if Clint can handle New York traffic. With Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness. We expected a cosmic journey. Instead, we got an emo Wanda hopping through realities, wreaking havoc while Strange is basically just there, trying to hold things together. Rather than fully exploring the potential of multiverses, we get one or two alternate realities. Think Inception, but with 2 fewer layers and half the logic. The madness here is Marvel's idea of coherent storytelling. Just to add spice to the let's fuck up the MCU list, Thor, Love and Thunder was thrown our way. Taika Waititi returns, and instead of Thor's character development, we get joke after joke, even in scenes where serious things should happen. Gore the God Butcher? Terrifying, until you realise Thor's too busy arguing with his hammer and cuddling goats. The tone is less epic journey and more stand-up comedy set, which, while entertaining, feels like Marvel's way of saying, no one here's taking this seriously, so why should you? There's that one series we probably all wish could be wiped from our memories, She-Hulk. This was Marvel's sitcom move, breaking the fourth wall with Deadpool's subtlety, minus the wit. She-Hulk's story goes from courtroom drama, feminist rants, dating escapades, to let's break the MCU formula. It's like the writers are telling us, yeah, we know it's ridiculous. We're bored too. Jen Walters is Hulk, but she spends the series navigating online dating and reminding us how trashy men and MCU fans are, which feels less like Marvel and more like a Friends reboot that didn't get past pilot. There's plenty more of these I could go on to rant about, but then I wouldn't be any different from the MCU, so I'll just let it rest, or maybe save it for part 2 like a YouTuber who covers the same topic in each video just with a different thumbnail and title. Instead of sticking to the Infinity Saga's grounded, well, relatively grounded universe, Marvel dove headfirst into the multiverse concept. Alternate timelines, endless realities, and what-if scenarios that pop up with the regularity of a Saturday morning cartoon lineup. While cool in theory, it ends up feeling like Marvel saying, we're out of fresh ideas. Here, have infinite realities. It's as though, rather than end gracefully, they'd rather throw everything into a blender and hope fans will stick around for the next slightly different Captain America cameo. So here we are, post-Endgame, living in a world where Marvel churns out endless what-if scenarios and alternate realities, and all we're left with is franchise fatigue. If Endgame was a well-earned break after a decade of battling, Phase 4 and beyond is like Marvel saying, "Oh, you thought you were done? Cute! Marvel, we loved you, but it's time to go. Take a cue from Endgame and just let things end. Let us cherish those first 3 phases as the legendary run they were, instead of stretching the franchise like pizza dough too thin. Wrap up before we're in Phase 17 and we're watching Civil War, Iron Man's great-great-grandson Stainless Steel Man versus Captain AI."